This video is about challenging your negative thoughts. The reason why I decided to do this video is because recently I have had to do that. I have been listening to the narrative that I tell myself, and sometimes it really isn't nice. I have been really attentive to the things that I'm thinking. So, for example, one of the things that I absolutely detest is when my husband leaves his books and all his work things or clothes, slippers all over the living room or in our bedroom. And the thoughts that plague my mind are things like, he doesn't care about me. He doesn't value my time. He doesn't care about the fact that I have to look after our son and I've got to do the school run, and then having to pick up after him as well. It's just adding to my workload. And he's selfish and lots of things like that. It's the same with my children. There are times where they may make a sandwich, for example, and leave all their mess on the kitchen counter. And that gets to me. And it's the same thing. I start to tell myself they don't care about me. They don't value my time. They think that I'm their servant. Who do they think they are? Why do I have to be cleaning up after themselves? Why? It gets to me. The funny thing is, when I ask them, for example, I'll say to my husband, babe, why did you leave your books all over the living room? Why, didn't you pack them away? He will say things like, I'm really sorry. I was in such a hurry this morning. I didn't realise that I'd left them in a mess. I had every intention of doing so, but then I needed to do X, Y, Z, and then I completely forgot. And oftentimes his reasons are valid and justified. Although in my head, I still think, do you know what? You should just clean up straight away. But his reasons are definitely not, I don't care about you, I don't value your time, and I want to be selfish towards you. And it's the same with the children. If I call them and say, like, Jaden, why couldn't you clean up after yourself? It's like, oh, my mum was going back to it. It's just that I had to go and do such and such, and then I forgot. Or same with Carolia, it's the same thing. This morning I went downstairs and I saw like her bits of cheese all over the counter, which she'd left from making a sandwich. And when I asked her, why did you leave your things there? Why didn't you clean up after yourself? It was, Mum, I forgot. I was going to, but then you called me and then I had to do what you asked me to do, and then I forgot to do that. And it's like, okay, it isn't because she doesn't care. It isn't because she doesn't value my time. It isn't because she wants to work me to the grave, as I often tell myself. It is because she genuinely forgot. And I'm really trying to work with myself and my thoughts to challenge the things that I'm thinking. Now, I'm not saying that it's okay for them to do these things, because I still think it isn't. I think everybody needs to make an effort. I'm of the mindset that when you cook something, you clean up straight away. When you make something, you clean up straight away. If you're using something or you're working, just tidy up once you finish. And for me, that's just the practice that I've always implemented. And these are just things that help to maintain a tidy home. But the things that I'm really trying to challenge myself with is my own thought process and the narrative and the story that I create about someone else. Because I seem to put myself in a position of being an expert in knowing exactly what they're thinking. And I think that's wrong. I know it's wrong, and I'm really working on that. And it's something that I'm sure many other people do as well. I don't think I'm alone in this. What about you? What do you ever do that? Do you create a story in your head? Do you create a narrative that you present as the gospel, the truth? Because I know I do. And this is something that I really, really want to work on. I think number one, it helps me to understand that not everyone's my enemy. My family do love and care for me. It's just that sometimes they forget things. They don't have the same principles that I have. And this is something that I am working on with my children in particular. And two, it also allows for them to give their reasons why something has happened. So for example, when I ask my husband, I'm like, babe, why did you leave your things? He will then tell me, do you know, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I was in a hurry this morning. I didn't want to be late for work, and so I didn't get to pack away my things. I'm really sorry. I'm going to try and do better. It's not intentional. And so when I hear his reasons, they're nothing like the story that I've created in my head. So it isn't because he doesn't care about me. He doesn't say it's because I'm being selfish and I want you to have to be a slave after me. Nothing like that. So it also enables him to give his reasons, and it also gives him the opportunity to feel that I'm not accusing him of something, and he's able to give his own reasons. So this is something that I'm really, really trying to work on. Off the back of that, my daughter and I were watching a really lovely film over the weekend. It's on the New Faith Network, and it was called The Last Straw. And this film was about this family, mum, husband, 4 children, and the children were always bickering, they're at each other. The husband's niece had come to stay with them because she was having some issues at home, and her parents needed some time out from her. And the mum was just getting really frustrated and upset, and having pretty much the same kind of feelings and thoughts that I have, that her children don't care about her, they don't value her time, that they argue so much. And so she came up with this idea of a good deed crib. Now what it was, she got one of her sons to make this crib for baby Jesus. They selected a doll, and then they went out to a farm and they collected straw, and they put all their names in a hat. They drew out a name, and each person had to do good deeds for the week for the person whose name they selected. And every time they did a good deed, they had to take a bit of straw, put it in the crib for baby Jesus. And at the end of it, the goal was to have a crib that was so cushioned with lots and lots of luscious straw that it was a comfortable environment for baby Jesus to lay in. And so they had to do lots and lots of good deeds. So when I saw this, it was a light bulb moment for me. I was like, yes, I need to do this with my family. One, it will really help everybody to be a lot more considerate towards one another. It's definitely something that's fun to do, particularly getting into the Christmas spirit of giving and being kind to one another. And also it would help me to challenge some of those negative thoughts that I'm having, because with everybody doing good deeds for each other, I know that I'm going to see different attitudes from my family members and even from myself. So this is something that we have been doing. We didn't have a crib, and we don't have straw. We just thought about using some of the things that we have in our home, and we have this basket, and I also found some potpourri or potpourri, however you want to say it. So every time my family do a good deed, they put a piece of potpourri in the basket, and our aim is to fill this basket to the very top with all of our good deeds before Christmas Day. So we put our names in another basket like this. We took turns to draw out a name, and we have secretly been doing good deeds for one another. And actually it's been really nice. The children have been arguing less. I think everybody's a lot more consciously aware, a bit more considerate towards one another. Every day I'm asking them, like periodically throughout the day, have you done your good deeds? Has everyone done their good deeds? And they're like getting excited and doing nice little things for each other. And it's made a difference in our home. It really has. And it's quite exciting. Everybody can't wait to tell and share whose name they got. So this coming Wednesday, we will exchange names. So we'll start again. We'll draw out a different name, and we'll do good deeds for a different person. And we're also going to reveal who we had been doing good deeds for. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yes, so challenging negative thoughts. I'm encouraging you. Challenge your negative thoughts. Think about the stories that you're telling yourself. It could be stories about your boss at work, it could be your children, it could be your spouse, it could be your parents, your siblings, whoever it may be. Challenge your thoughts and do a good deed. this is definitely a really simple idea that anybody can implement at home. You can use anything at all for your good deed basket. You can use a jar, you can use a box, whatever it may be. But I'm really encouraging you all to do these good deeds for each other, to think about your thoughts, to challenge your thoughts, and to also give the person the opportunity to actually justify their actions in scenarios like what I expressed and explained earlier. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you do, or you did, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to catching up with you again soon. Take care.